Hare Krishna. So today we'll be discussing a very pertinent topic on the science of relationships. What does Bhagavad Gita have for us to offer in improving our relationships? Relationship issues are the #1 problem in the world today. Books that talk about relationships are the best sellers in the market. Movies that demonstrate how the dynamics of emotional relationships that are between people are highlighted are the #1 in the box office. And so we know understanding these relationships is the #1 on the priority list for most people. But more often than not, we see that somewhere these techniques have some shortcomings. So let's try to understand today from the Bhagavad Gita what it has to offer to improve our relationships. Bhagavad Gita explains that at the center of all our communication, of all our relationships, is Lord Krishna in the form of Paramatma. In fact, the Gita goes on to explain that every communication that happens in this world happens because of the interpretation of the Paramatma, because of the blessings of the Paramatma, because of the facilitation that the Paramatma gives. Think of the Paramatma like your mobile service provider, right? So when you're actually talking on phone, whom are you actually talking to? Did you ever think about this? Think hard. When you make a phone call to your beloved person, to your friend, whom are you actually talking to? Well, you're not actually talking to the person on the other side, but you are actually talking to your mobile service server. It is a server which is receiving all this information, and over the satellite network it is communicating back to the other person. Now imagine if your connection with the server is very weak, then what will happen? No matter how hard you scream in your phone, the other person will not be able to hear you. So the essential point in good communication and in healthy relationships is how well are we connected to that important link. And that link is the Paramatma in the form of Lord Krishna. So the secret to improving our relationships with everybody in the world is first improving our innate natural relationship with the Supreme Lord. The more closer we are to the Supreme Lord, the more closer we can be to the entire world. The scriptures go on to explain the example of how simply by watering the root of a tree, you will be able to water every single leaf, every single branch, every single twig, every single part of the tree. You don't have to make an individual effort to go and sprinkle water at every single part. Just water the root, and the root of this entire creation is the Supreme Lord Himself. So that process of developing our relationship with the Supreme Lord is what is called as bhakti or devotional service. So the more devotional we become, the more healthy our relationships with everyone will be. Otherwise, you will only scream into your phone and see that there is no response coming from the other side. We'll only experience more and more frustration. So the secret to overcome the frustrations in relationships is first developing our true relationship with Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.